How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI. I know it has been a little bit, but since we are in 2022, I want to make sure I give you guys the latest update for my swing traders and as well as for my long-term investors. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. You want to be prepared. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $15.81, being down 0.88%. On the low, it tested $15.74, and then on the high, testing $16.49. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 30.798 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 28.484 million shares. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 47.72. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 50-day. We're also below the 200-day. We're also below the 100-day. But as you can see here, we close right above the 21-day EMA, which is what we want to see, which is set at 1578, and we close at 1581. So the first thing that I want to bring to your attention, for the past 3 trading days, we have been forming some higher lows. So what we want to see going into Monday is SOFI getting into the $17 range. We know there's resistance right here around this 1650 area, but if we can push right through it and get into 17, things can get very interesting. But I do see we could have some selling pressure here right at the 100-day, which is around $17.26. Another thing that I also want to talk about is the pattern that we've seen on this chart. SOFI has sold off many times in the past and has shown recoveries. So we could see here back in May, it was right around the $14 range, right? And then after, when we see it made a strong pop going all the way up to here to just around $25 in June. Then it sold off again. We ended up seeing some lows getting back into the $13 range, and then boom, we make another pop all the way here up until November, being just under $25. And I actually covered this on the channel many times. So these were great swing trading opportunities. So now that we have seen another sell-off, could this be another comeback for SOFI to make that move going back in the mid-20s? There's a strong possibility that will be the case. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it across your radar if you want a swing trade opportunity. But of course, this is not guaranteed, but this is just something that I want you guys to pay attention to. So let's see how SOFI performs on Monday. But one thing is for sure, we are going to be having a lot more volume coming in January. So I'm going to be very interested to see what the volatility looks like and what direction we decide to go in. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for SOFI. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 37.15%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 5.97 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 26 minutes ago. And then for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.49%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see at the close of the 30th, it was at 32.05, and then for the close of the 31st, which is a Friday that just passed, it is at 37.15. So it has gone up quite a bit, but one thing that is for sure, it continues to have short squeeze potential. So this is why we see a lot of volatility in SOFI stock, but the great thing is we could benefit from this. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see here on the inflow, it was at 7 75.77, and then on the outflow it was at 89.23. So it was an outflow day on the Friday. When we take a look at the breakdown even further, on the large it was 0.79, on the medium it was 51.50, and then on the small it was 23.48, and these numbers are in the millions. Now when we take a look at the outflow side, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 63.16, and then on the small it was 26.07. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for December the 31st, so the Friday that just passed, it was at 788.16. And for the past 5 trading days, we've had 4 inflow days for large scale orders. Very good to see. Now, when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. Keep in mind, this is on the Friday. And then on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying, but on the large, this is where we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.82%. No surprises there, since we know there's a lot of traders that are going in and out of SOFI. It can contribute to the overall volatility. But one thing that does tell us, there's still many who are holding on to their positions. And keep in mind, on the Friday, as we got closer to the end of the day, the market was selling off and SOFI was impacted by that. So let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SOFI, this is an interesting play for traders and as well as for investors. If you want to invest in SOFI for the long term, take advantage of those pullbacks. So we could see this being in the $14 range or in the $13 range, and if you get in lower, even better. If you are a trader, you're going to want to see it actually show some respect to those support levels in regards to $13.15. It has been very interesting in the fact that it has been holding up the $15 range, and this does give you a pretty good setup considering in the past where it did test it down into around $13.50, it was able to make a move going up to $24.95. So we do have some resistance at $25, but that does give us a lot of upside considering where it's trading at right now. Also, when we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So this is why we have a lot more buying volume coming into the stock, which we could see this week since we are in the new year. I wouldn't be surprised to see this stock shoot up even further. But if it does have those pullbacks, just know what I was talking about in the technicals. It will help you alongside with your homework and as well as your due diligence. As far as for my price target for the coming week or even this month for SOFI, it needs to get above $17.50. If it can do this, this is where I'm going to be looking forward to that move going to $20. And also when we take a look at analyst price targets, which they have priced in a year from now, it is around $24.25. Like I said, there's a good amount of upside in this play. And on top of that, we do know that SOFI is going to be hosting the Super Bowl in February. So if they end up even getting that bank charter before then, I think things are going to get really crazy. And we could see even from the order flow, institutions have been loading up on shares, taking advantage of those dips. Keep an eye on this play. Do your homework. Give it a look. You guys already know my opinion on it. You guys know I love this play. I love the company. So let's see how it performs for this coming week, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. We'll talk soon.